Adelante.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. It sings in the days when hope unborn have died, yet with the steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which we will sigh. Tears as we still now we stand. Shadow beneath thy hand, may we forever stand. True to our God, true to
I'm not going to get into my speech because that's going to go deep, but I just say it's time for black women to be cared for by America. It's time for black women to be, we are the mothers of all human beings.
Amen.
What human being does not want to take care of their mother? I mean, we're the nurturers. We're the bringers of life. It should never be okay to kill and especially not a black woman. It should never be okay. It should never be okay. And we get lost. We get lost in the mix all the time in every fight. And we are so underappreciated by America that not only do people get away with murdering us, it's not even considered murder.
Yeah. Yes.
It's not even considered murder.
Right.
When it's clearly murder.
Yes.
How is that okay? How is life expected to continue when it's okay to kill the mother of all human beings? How is it okay? It's not okay. It's not okay. Every human being has a moral obligation from this day forward to love a black woman, to protect a black woman, to ask a black woman, are they okay? Checking in with black women. We are the mothers of all humans. Who doesn't love and respect their own mother? I don't understand. I don't get it.
We love you, Ted.
Awesome. Right. Every word you said, absolutely. And that's not even my speech, I'm right. That's not even my speech. We're crying. Black women are crying. Black women are hurt.
I hear you.
It's unbelievable. We love everybody. We love everybody. There's no fight. There's no fight in the history of civil fights that a black woman has not stood up for everything. Every fight. For everybody. We love everybody. We deserve it. I mean, we deserve much more than love and respect, but we at least deserve that. If nothing else. At the minimum. We're hurting. We have faith. We have faith.
I thank everybody out here that's came. You know, you're action oriented. You're rural revolutionaries, and I love all of you. Without each and every one of you, there would be no chance. There would be no justice for Breonna Taylor's out there. And you may think, where's the rest? Like, I know it's always in our minds. There should be more people. Trust me, this is. Thank you. We love you. I've been to 56 BLM movements. San Jose, Oakland, on my birthday, Los Angeles. And the things that I would say is that Black Lives Matter, and it doesn't matter how many people say it. It matters. My queens matter. And African American men have to start building up our queens. I'm saying for me, I can't speak for any other African American man, but I'm making it my pledge that I fight for the Breonna Taylors that are out there. I fight for the Queen Tays. I fight for the Tanisha Dunns, the Rosalind Greens, the people that I know and love and care about. I fight for each and every one of you black and brown women out here as well. You know, I am a man first because I read a book one time that African American men say they're men first and color second, because the privilege that we get from being a man takes away the color that we sometimes are betrayed on by the Caucasian people that are out here. And so it's my duty to fight for my women. It's my duty to fight for my trans women. But it's my duty to fight for my African American women and make sure that they're on the pedestal that they deserve. And this is why I do. And now I'm going to ask each and every one of you to come up here, introduce yourself, because I'm a connector. I like to connect with each and every one of the people. If I don't really know you, I want to get to know you. I want to have your number by the end of this. We're going to take to the streets at 12 o'clock, maybe 11:50, we'll see. Law enforcement officer came this morning, I recorded Facebook Live, and he said, a young man, I'm 27 years old, he said, look, we're not going to stop you from doing what you're doing. We can't handle your First Amendment rights. You can take to the streets, we'll just stop traffic, but do you really want to do that? I said, Black Lives Matter. Breonna Taylor's life matters. If you can help fight the systemic racism that you're a part of, maybe I wouldn't have to take to the streets. I'm gonna introduce Miriam Smith, an activist, a queen. Here you go.
Thank you, Nathan. So you all that showed up here today, our troopers, it's really good to see you. Yeah, give yourself a hand. That's awesome. Thank you for showing up, because this is very important. This has to do with black women.
Yes.
And black women are not always recognized in these killings and in shootings. And I'm a black woman, and I'm here today because it could have been me.
Yes.
I'm in this chair because I was beat up by the police, thrown on the ground. And, George Floyd brought me out because they put their knees in my back. And they continued to beat me while my body jumped, and they told me to stop resisting. That's impossible. That's an oxymoron to say, while they beat you and your body flex from them beating you after they tase you, to tell you to stop resisting. So I want you to know I survived, and so I thought it important that I be here today, because I wasn't supposed to survive, just like so many other black people that did not survive, just like so many other black men that did not survive. So we don't want to forget the black women. It is so important to not forget the black women in our community anywhere. I am running for MPC, Monterey Unified School District Board of Trustee, and I have a kickoff today at 12 o'clock. But I want you to know this was so important for me to stop by and say I'm in support. Thank you for being in solidarity. Thank you for showing up. Thank you, everybody, because we need to keep showing up and never stop showing up. Showing up is the first step to making that social change that we need in our community. And that's the reason that I'm running for the school board, because no one really shows up to make social or racial change in the school district. It stays hidden and covered up, and we excuse it. And it's time for people everywhere to help me unravel, open up, uncover the hidden racism that's even in our school district that we don't want to talk about, because we got friends, family members, just like me. I got friends and family members that are teachers. We got people that work in the district. But it's time that we start opening this stuff up in the district. And we're going to talk about racial justice in our communities. We need to talk about racial justice in our schools. Our kids leave the community, go to the schools, and it's a secret. They leave the schools and come back to the community, and the harm done is not acknowledged in the district. So I'm running for Area 2 Monterey Unified School District. Those of you that can vote for me, those of you that are aware in that district, please do. If you have friends that are in that district, please tell them about me. My name is Miriam Smith, and I'm running on a racial justice platform. I'm running like no one has ever ran before. I don't think anybody has ever ran on a racial justice platform. I'm not concerned with a position. I'm not concerned with what people think about me. What I am concerned with is the children that are harmed in our district, and I've been there. I represent over 80% of those children. I've been there all of my life. My children were raised in that district, harm done, and now I have grandchildren in that district, harm done, and I can begin to tell you the secrets that have been covered up for my family and many other families. And it's just time for people to get with me and get with Monterey Unified School District and say we demand change and we demand change today. Open up the schools, not to COVID, but open up the schools to the parents. All the privacy is causing the harm, so then you have no one auditing you, no overseer. It's just you and you and you, and it's the kids' words against you, and the kids never can stand up against the district. We have to open the district and break the code. Will you please help me break the code in Monterey Unified School District so our kids can be safe from harm, and less of our children are going into the district and getting kicked out, not being able to go to schools, being suspended for tiny petty stuff. Okay, they've been working on it, but they still have not brought down enough of black children, who is a small percentage in our district, that are getting kicked out of schools. We want raises for the teachers. There has not been a raise since 2008. We need raises for the teachers. We need affordable housing. That was voted down this time, but next time around we will not vote that down after COVID. Teachers will need affordable housing. Teachers need help and support too. We're not helping our teachers enough. So we need to help our teachers. We need to back our teachers. We need to give our teachers a voice and not the testing in the school a voice. So would you please help me in the Monterey Unified School District? You get me in that seat because I'm working for you. And then you work for me to get me in there. Thank you.
Next, before we introduce a powerful queen, she needs an introduction. And I think the perfect person to give her that introduction is a song by Carlton McKnight.
Old pirates, yes, they robbed I, sold I to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit, but my hands were made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help me sing this song of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had, redemption song, redemption song. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. We gotta fulfill the book. Won't you help me sing this song of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had, redemption song, redemption song. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can
There are streets, right? There are streets. We're fighting for our African American queens. We're fighting for our black and brown women today, tomorrow, and the future. It's time for people like me who, yes, have our own oppression, but we need to put our queens first. Always. Protect our queens. There should be no man or woman come into our queens' home and shoot them down like animals and get away with it. So, in honor of Breonna Taylor today, we have a powerful Trans Lives Matter activist, community member, Laurie Michael Phillips. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. I want to talk a moment about another woman who was killed, Marilyn Monroe Cazares, a young black Latinx trans woman, beautiful, described as the life of the party, described as kind to everyone, stabbed to death in her home, stabbed to death, and her life isn't being investigated at all. She was stabbed to death, a piece of furniture outside her home was set on fire, and it was firemen that discovered her, not police. Police don't do a damn thing for us. Police don't do anything for us. Police are for themselves. Every time, police are for themselves. They have immunity. They give themselves cover stories. They never answer for anything. I'm from Los Angeles County, and I have never seen a police officer answer for anything. We have the worst police departments in the country. Us in New Orleans, Cleveland, Milwaukee, a few other places. But Los Angeles, man, we got the biggest street gang in the world in Los Angeles. That is all wearing blue and carrying badges. We have to do something about this. We can't tolerate it any longer. We're about to lose the Supreme Court if somebody doesn't stop the Republicans. When we lose the Supreme Court, how much justice will there be in our courts? There are no courts, there are no police, there are no authorities that will defend us. What is important then is that we defend ourselves, that we shout, that we cry, that we make good trouble. If we can't have justice from the system, we will have justice in spite of the system. That feels like a good place for me to stop. Justice for Breonna Taylor. Justice for Marilyn Monroe Cazares. Justice for so many thousands of lives lost and not redressed. Thank you.
Why not? You're a powerful African American woman, and I love hearing your voice. And you're always out here.
What's up, Monterey? It's a hard week. It's a hard day. My son came downstairs after the AG in Kentucky made his announcement.
Closer.
I can't wait. Let's put the baby down.
Yeah.
So my son came downstairs just as space, just a mess. And I was clueless because I didn't know what had happened. Yeah? I wasn't paying attention. I was busy trying to write a speech. I'm not good at giving speeches, as y'all can tell. And I just held him. I didn't know what was going on, I just held him. And then finally pulled himself together, tears running down his eyes. He said they didn't convict anyone.
They killed her and they didn't convict anyone. No one went down for that. They broke into her home and they killed her in her sleep and they got away with it. This is what my son told me. My son, I was pregnant with my son at the same time as Breonna's mother was pregnant with her, yeah? So our kids are the same age, but Breonna's not here today. Breonna didn't get to turn 27. Breonna didn't get her 27th birthday. Well, that's messed up.
That's fucked up.
It's fucked up. Yes. And we can't keep letting it happen. Because if we keep letting it happen, guess what? There won't be any black women left. There won't be any black men left. What kind of planet is that? We need all of us, or none of us are gonna make it on this planet. That makes sense to you, correct? Yeah. So we need to not just to defund the police, we need to refund the community. We need to keep showing up at community events like this. And we need to call in to our city council meetings. We need to make sure that we're voting in November. There's a whole lot that we need to do to make sure that women like Breonna don't get killed in their bed.
And people get away with it.
We need to prosecute the police that killed Breonna Taylor. We'll do a list. Do we have a list? It's all good, babe. It's all good. I should have the list in my head. That's hard to keep up with.
I have the list of women.
Can you bring this? So, I'm gonna hand this off to Queen Tay. She's gonna read a list of the women. While she's bringing it up, I just want to ask you guys to just sit for a moment. We're gonna do a little breathing exercise. Yeah? So we're just all gonna bring ourselves right here and right now. Does it make sense? So I want you to, I know it's hard, but I want you to focus on the tip of your nose. Right there where it's touching your mask. Just feel it. It's a sensation. I'm going to help you. But while you're feeling the sensation of the tip of your nose touching your mask, I want you to take a deep breath in. It's hard, I know, because you're in a mask. And then release it and blow it right out your mouth. Do it again. And breathe it out all the way out. This time you're going to take 2 short breaths in through your nose, 1 short breath out of your mouth, and 1 long, deep breath. This is a meditation, okay? So it's going to sound like this. You got that? And keep breathing out until your lungs are empty. Okay, this is how we de-escalate. This is our way of de-escalation. Yeah? Breathe in, and you breathe out. Do it once with me. And release. And now that we're all here, and we're all present, we're going to read these names together. Sound good? You're going to say their names.
Breonna Taylor. Sandra Bland. Tatiana Jefferson. Corin Gaines. Kendra James. Taisha Miller. Pamela Turner. Alberta Spruill. Ayana Jones. Darnisha Harris. Miriam Carey. I know you guys remember this one. 80-plus-year-old Catherine Johnson. She was murdered in her home by a not warrant, just like Breonna Taylor. The police tried to say that her grandson was selling drugs out of her home. Never confirmed. No justice is ever served for her murder. 87 years old, killed in her home by police with a no-knock warrant, and they tried to justify it. Tarika Wilson, Rakia Boyd, Sharice Francis, Chantel Davis, Yvette Smith, Shelley Frey, Tanisha Anderson, Alicia Thomas, Melissa Williams. All of them were murdered by police.
That's pretty ridiculous, right? Like, if all of those women had to stand 6 feet apart today for social distancing, how much space would they occupy right now? Like, a lot, right? Like, if we wrote down the names of every human that was taken by the police, how many miles would we have if we had to keep them socially distanced? By the police! These are Al-Qaeda.
They
Right?
were also unarmed.
These are
Unarmed
victims
black women
of the police.
murdered by the police.
They're supposed to be here to protect and serve us. But what they do is murder us. I can't call the police. I won't call the police. I won't. Calling the police is an act of violence.
It's a death sentence.
It's a death sentence.
It's crazy.
You call the police and they're going to show up and they're going to kill someone. More often than not, that seems to be what happens. They escalate it, they beat people, they arrest people, and then those that they don't kill and they don't beat wind up in jail working for Walmart and Victoria's Secret and AT&T in call centers in the prison, because it's just more slavery. It's extra steps for slavery. So you call the police and somebody dies. Let's start calling the police, right? I think you guys have all heard about Pause the Calls, the local initiative that started locally, branching out nationally. We need to get behind this initiative and make sure that the people that need help get the help that they need and not shot in the face by the police. This makes sense the way I'm saying it to you, right? I know I'm preaching in the car, you guys wouldn't be here. If
We want to hear it. We want to hear it. We want to hear it.
Don't call the police. We got that part. I'm just occupying space. I don't know who's coming up next. But as a mom of black children, as a black mom of black children, I need you guys to stop calling the police. I need us to defund the police and refund the community. As a mom of black daughters, I need you guys to understand that that they're doing is genocide.
That's right.
We can't have this anymore. Yeah? I'm terrified. My kids are terrified. Women, men, and children in this country are terrified because of terrorists running around in uniforms, shooting people and getting away with it, murdering people and getting away with it. They know what they're doing. They have smiles on their faces as they do it.
before Queen Tate closes us out later, is there anyone here that would like to speak on behalf of Breonna Taylor and all the other women that were mentioned today? Anyone else? I don't want to be up here. I don't even want to be on camera. This is about black and brown women.
I want to say something.
Thank you.
One thing you guys didn't say.
I don't want to be part of the generation that doesn't do anything about this.
Yes.
It's not right. In the future, do you want them to look back on us and say they were murdering black women and men? They were stopping children from getting an education. They were blocking black lives. And the white people and the other people did nothing about it. Can you imagine? It must have been barbaric to live in those times. I don't want to be part of the generation that sits by and lets it happen. And that's the message I think we need to make everybody understand. We're part of the problem if we're not solving the problem. They're stealing lives. They're stealing lives, and we let it happen. We made excuses. We looked the other way. We got complacent, and then they kept murdering people.
Silence is violence.
Silence is violence. We need to make a stop to all of this. I'm glad to be here. I'm honored to be in your presence. I'm sorry this is happening. And I wanted to be here to not just sit by while Lori came out and talked and protest. I can stand for a couple of hours and listen and understand and be more educated so I can educate someone else. And if even this small group goes out and continues, then we won't be the generation that sat by and let this keep happening. And it could probably get worse because all police do is come and kill. Someone told Lori once, the answer to anything is on my belt. Something like that, a cop. It's all about violence. That's their only answer. So we need to defund the police and refund the community so people get the help they need when they're in a crisis and they don't have to be dead. And black women don't have to worry for their children. We need to do something. We need to be the generation that ends this murder.
Right?
And no more excuses. Zero tolerance.
Like I said, this open mic, please just speak from your heart. You don't have to be the best speaker in the world to say what matters.
Hey everyone. Thank you all again for coming out. These are hard times on everyone. I know it's weighing on all of us. We're suffering, feeling hopeless at times, right? People, hundreds of people, thousands of people have been protesting every single day for 6 months in Louisville. And what was the result? Still no justice. It makes us realize we can't stop, but we still have a lot more digging to do to get to the root cause of all of these problems. It's not about individual police officers, it's about the entire system that's built to protect them. We need to continue to bring up qualified immunity and police officers' unions and the contracts that police officers sign when they get their jobs, which essentially is the reason we had the result in Louisville. These police officers, when they join the force, are given a carte blanche to do whatever they feel necessary while wearing their uniforms. And it's going to take organization on a greater level to go to state legislatures, go to the federal legislatures and truly dismantle the system that has been 400 years in the making. You know, we never ended slavery. We never ended slavery. We're still, that's why we're abolitionists now, right? We get to be part of that. It's our duty. I know it's people like you that make it easier to keep going and to take it day by day, but not give up. We owe it to, you know, Breonna, who never had the chance, as Audra said, to celebrate her 27th birthday. If anyone here, like me, I'm 28, I got to be older than her. I'm getting too emotional, so
We all need to cry. Yeah.
Give her a hug. Give her a hug.
So it's okay for us to be sad. It's okay for us to be mad. Sorry. It's human, and anyway, I will keep doing what I can and standing alongside of you all. To bring justice, like Lori said. If we can't get it from the system, in spite of the system, we will build our own justice, and it takes a mass movement, you know. Exactly. We will continue to build together. Even though there's only a few of us standing here right now, I know that we do have a lot of brothers and sisters in solidarity, and we're gonna keep going. So sorry, I don't mean to drag it on, but Queen Tay, I think, is gonna close us out, and yeah, thank you all, because I get my strength from you all. So.
Some of you were already here. I think it was close to 10:30, and my heart sank because I saw a small group of people, and I really wanted to see a large group of people. I'm a 62-year-old white man born in this country. I understand what white privilege is. I'm ashamed of my country. I'm ashamed of my generation. I'm ashamed of myself for waiting so long to decide that the power of the people is only real if the people choose to use it. I've gone along with this country and so many things I've seen because mostly things are okay most of the time. Sometimes things are actually pretty good, right? And we like that. But when I look around and I see the injustice, there's nothing that is okay that is enough that makes me okay to take what I have and to say, too bad. It hurts me to say that I'm ashamed of this country. I was raised to believe that this country was great, and I believed it for a long time. It was a long, slow process of waking up and opening my eyes to the indoctrination that I've been raised in, my entire generation, all of you have been raised in, and we believe what we hear. That's human nature. You know why Crest is better than Colgate? It's not, but we hear it so often, we believe it. Okay, well, this country is not great. This country has never been great. This country has been a racist country from its origins, and it has fought to maintain the privilege that that racism has allowed. And it's time to end it.
Yes!
There's one thing that I hope all of you understand, and if you don't, I hope I'm going to open your eyes to something today. This is not about Democrats and Republicans. This is about Americans. This is about the people and the ruling elite. And trust me when I tell you, the Democrats and the Republicans are both part of the ruling elite, and neither one of them represents you or me. Neither one of them gives a shit about you or me or anybody but themselves and their own philosophies and policies and desires and greeds. So, where does that bring us? This is 2020. Wow. I am so grateful to be able to stand here in my 62nd year and say, finally, I am beginning to become proud of my country. When I look around and I see you, and you, and you, and you, and I hear the horns of the people that recognize what's going on, okay? There's an awakening happening in this country that has not happened. Now, I was a young child in the late 60s. So I was not intimately involved, and I can't give you a long, detailed description of what that was like. But I was there, I lived through it, and I saw the aftermath, and it was nothing compared to what's happening right now. Right now, 2020 is the first time in my 62 years of life where I believe democracy is possible. We all think we've had democracy, and we have not had democracy. And it's just beginning to feel like enough people have been oppressed long enough that they're starting to get up and not look first for comfort, but starting to look for justice. So this is the time. When I was a young man, I went to university, Humboldt State University, and when I got there, I was enrolled in the fishery management program, but I had in the back of my mind this thought, maybe politics, right? And I remember watching a man I admired at the time. I'm having second thoughts about now, but compared to the shit show we see in Washington, D.C. now, he's a great man. I don't care what he did or said, and that was Ronald Reagan. And when I watched him have to go on national TV and lie to the nation and the world at large and his own people about why he did what he did when he sent troops in to liberate, whatever you want to call it, the country of Grenada, I realized for the first time in my life how dirty politics is. I realized that a man who ultimately seemed to be a good man, who maybe was worthy of respect, lost my respect because the political system in this country is designed to weed out honest people with integrity. We do not get representation from Democrats and Republicans. We get lip service from Democrats and Republicans. The same people that fund the Democrats fund the Republicans. This is not a red and blue gang warfare. This is class warfare. This is the wealthy who have been oppressing the masses continually. And now, for the first time in my life, I'm beginning to believe that we, the people of this country, can change it. We can institute democracy for the first time ever because we have the Constitution that created it that has never been used. It has always been abused and misused and misrepresented, and now it is time. So this is what I want to say. This is what I'm watching. I am filled with hope for the first time in my life for the possibility of a good government in my country. The Black Lives Matter movement, the resurgence of it with the killing of George Floyd, has sparked something that has laid dormant for generations. I see young faces out here, and it's such a good thing to see. When I was your age, there were no youngsters at a political rally. There's an awareness happening. What I want to say is this. Black Lives Matter is the catalyst. It is the spark for the movement that we need. But be clear, it is not the only injustice that we need to fight against. We need to claim control of our government so that it represents us. My name is Jim Clark. I love this country. I'm ashamed of my government, and thank you all for loving your country and wanting to do something good.
I want to thank all the speakers that have spoken. I left Queen Tay for last because this is about black women today, tomorrow, and the future. I want a revolution, as Jim mentioned. And as a young African American man, I'm 27. I'm not gonna call myself an old man yet. Or my wife and I have been working behind the scenes, thinking, what can we do besides? There's levels. There's putting it on social media these days, which everybody can do that. Share, like, double tap. Second is coming out here to things like this, protesting in front of the streets. And there's not a lot of us that do that. And the third thing is actually creating an organization that, so you can walk the walk, talk the talk. My wife and I are created an organization called Black Wall Street Incorporated. Through the IRS, the federal government just sent us our paper, so we're official. This organization is going to be the new NAACP. This organization is going to fight revolution, going to fight change. I believe, and this is just my own personal belief, that the African American, the black and brown community should have their own community policing. The African American community and all black and brown folks can follow us and do the same thing that we do. Copy us, please. And what I'm saying is, we should not be put in a prison system that's majority Caucasian controlled. We should have our own way of being our own judge and jury for our own people. I'm tired of seeing black and brown people. 58% of the prison system. African Americans, 58% of the prison system. 12% of the U.S., according to U.S. Census. Look it up yourself. It's time for us to stop talking and start doing action. So I'm going to take people like you, put you on boards, put you on committees, make you members, work with the NAACP we currently have, do wraparound services, and actually do the stuff that we're talking about. Make the people that are talking about, that have the money, put the money where their mouth is. I want to introduce Queen Tay, mother of all mothers, powerful activist, a lovely individual, someone that we can go back and forth and argue every day and still say we love each other. After Queen Tay speaks, we're going to take to the streets. Whose streets are they? Our Whose streets are they? Our streets. Queen Tay, everyone.
Hello, I'm glad that everybody came out here today to represent for black women, because we are an expression of love. Woo! All right. Black women stand up for everybody, all the time. You know, black women love everyone. I don't know a cause that black women have not been the heartbeat of. You know, we're involved in everything. So everyone should be involved in standing up for us. Those names we read were just the black women murdered by the police. Black women are murdered in domestic violence situations in high numbers. I'm going to get to my speech. On March 13th in Louisville, Kentucky, a 26-year-old black woman named Breonna Taylor was murdered after being shot 8 times in her home, in her bed, remember this name, by Sergeant John Mattingly. John Mattingly murdered Breonna Taylor. He was also shot in the leg by Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, and was painted as an officer defending himself. He was shot once in the leg. He shot her 8 times and was painted as an officer defending himself from her boyfriend, none the least. Not her. She was in bed. Mattingly has since hired legal representation for his claim for defamation of character and slander related to people calling him a murderer, as if he did not murder Breonna Taylor. Just because a grand jury decided not to consider murder to be murder when the police murder black women. Sandra Bland hung herself.
Sure she did. Sure she did.
It's not murder when it's police murdering black women. In 1962, Malcolm X stated, "The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman." As a black woman, I will no longer be disrespected. As a black woman, I will no longer be neglected. As a black woman, who will be my protector? Of course, God is. My faith is always in the holy divine and the laws of nature. We are the mothers of all human beings. The world and everyone in it should protect us. Nature is unbalanced in a world that kills its own mothers. Everyone who sees a black woman anywhere at any time should ask them if they are okay. Do they need anything? How can you help them? How can you protect them? We love everyone. We help everyone. We stand up for everyone. It's time for everyone to love us, to protect us, to stand up for us. Black women matter.
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 Now, I know a lot of people say all lives matter. I just want to say this. Life itself matters. Life. We don't even have to put anything in front of it, outside of it. Life. Life matters. Why is the scale and the balance different based on the title that you put in front of life? Why does the okay Make America great again. When was America great?
America was never great to me.
When was America great? When was America great? What is considered greatness? What do you consider greatness? What do you consider greatness? Is love greatness? Is love greatness? Is there anything greater? We watched the late great RBG take the Constitution, the laws that America was built on, to protect the majority at the time it was designed. We watched her take these laws that were created that were implemented just for the white men who created it. But now, since it's the laws of the country, we can learn these laws. We can learn how to get into positions where we can alter I'm hurting because these same laws justified murder. RBG showed us how to be patient, calm, and lead with love and justice as our intentions. Even though these laws have been used to spark anger, hurt, pain, we have to learn how to convert that energy into strength, mental strength, unity, passion. We have to stop the will. We can't fight fire with fire. How can we be heard?
Mama, I gotta go pee-pee.
Oh. I'm hurt. As a black woman, I'm very hurt. And we need you guys, we need everybody to learn what they learn what they know. We have to find a way to rewrite the narrative. We have to change the narrative. And I heard the gentleman before me, Jim Clark, I believe is his name, and he said the people have power. Well, the power of the people is greater than the people in power. But we have to learn how to pick our battles wisely. We are going against a system that has had generations of time to build its army against us. Systemic racism is so institutionalized, it's so embedded in everything. It's even embedded in the language for buying a home, buying property. It's so okay to sweep black people under the rug. It's so okay. It's so okay in this society. We have to love each other. I know I had intentions on being all amped up, but the more and more I think about it, and I don't feel defeated at all. I'm never defeated. That's why we're still out here. But the truth of the matter is, we are Davids going up against a Goliath. And it's going to take faith. It's going to take unity. It's going to take love. God is the great orchestrator. And God wants us to see that we have to keep coming out. We have to keep speaking up. We have to keep teaching future generations. We have to support each other. We have to love each other. Those were too many names to be named of police getting away with murdering just black women alone. Breonna Taylor could have been one of my daughters. Breonna Taylor is somebody's daughter. A mother is hurting right now. Her life didn't matter to the person who killed her. Her life didn't matter to the grand jury. Her life matters to us. That's why we're here. We have to make sure that our lives matter, right? I'm hurting. As a black woman, I'm hurting. We're hurting. We're hurting as a people. So, I know I took you down. Now I have to pick you back up. I have to pick you back up. I'm going to pick you back up with a poem that I've said before. Now that we've seen the ugly, we know the darkness. We know the pain. We know the hurt. How do we come out of it? This is what we do. We search intentionally for the beauty in everything. And eventually we can change reality. Because I know that spiritually, this is all of our duty.
My name is Jim Clark, Jim-C-L-A-R-K, and I currently reside in Monterey, California.
Awesome. So tell me about what you guys have organized today.
So I was not part of the organization of what was happening out here today. I got a Facebook post yesterday informing me, and I've been making an effort to participate in these rallies to the best of my ability. So the focus on today has been on black women, specifically talking about that, but there's a larger general context, and that's of general injustice and the need for the people to take power politically and make changes in the government, and I think that's what's happening.
Awesome. So why do you think it's important, not just for you, but also for everyone to know about what's going on with the Breonna Taylor case?
Well, if people don't understand that somebody can be wrongfully killed in the privacy of their own home, and then have police lie about it and cover it up, and the entire system plays it down as though it's okay. Well, if you don't know what systemic racism is, that's systemic racism, and it's been going on for a long time, and it's time to stop.
And what do you think should have been done about the police officers involved?
I think that immediately the report should have been filed honestly. There should have been information in the immediate report that there was an injured person, not that no one was hurt. And I'm not currently up on all the details, so I'm not going to make an expose on this case. But it's just a symptom of a much larger problem that's going on throughout this country. It has been for too long.
And you're referring to racism, is that correct?
I'm referring to systemic racism and the government's role in continuing.
Awesome. So if you had a message to Breonna Taylor's family, what would you say to them?
I'm so sorry for your loss. I hope her death will lead to positive change in this country. So no one else has their life in the same.
And on the Central Coast, what do you think that community members could be looking at or could be working on right now?
Great question, and there's no easy answers, and there's probably some people here that have better answers than I do. But for me, what I would say is be involved, pay attention, get educated, get informed, and then show up and let your voice be heard and pass it on. And it's a grassroots movement. It's the only way we're going to ever take control of this government is the people actually standing up and saying now's the time. And I'm really hoping that for the first time in my life, we are about to exercise democracy.
So my name is Queen Tay, Queen Tay, Tay, and I'm currently a resident of Seaside, California.
Were you one of the organizers of this rally?
No, I am not an organizer. I'm just a speaker. I'm friends with one of the organizers, Nathaniel Sawyer and his wife.
So tell me about why you felt compelled to take part in something like this today.
Well, this is a protest and rally on behalf of a black woman by the name of Breonna Taylor, who was murdered back in March. And the grand jury decided that her murder was not considered a murder, and no one was charged for her murder. She was shot 8 times in her home, in her bed, and no justice was ever made. No one was charged for her murder. So I feel it's my duty as a black woman to speak up on the injustices that black women face here in America.
So why is it important for people on the Central Coast to be paying attention to this?
Well, because this can happen anywhere. It's an American issue. So it's very important. Even black women face injustices all over America, and police are getting away with murdering black people everywhere in America. So it's important even where I live, because I should not have to wait until someone here is murdered before I speak up on it here.
So in terms of the police efforts that are happening here, do you think that police, either in Monterey, anywhere in Central Coast, do you think that they're doing enough to keep something like this from happening?
You mean here on the Central Coast? Well, actually, I believe that there is a disconnect between the community and the police, and I do not feel that they're doing anything to bridge that gap and to close that disconnect and to give black people, especially black women who feel so unprotected, and black men too, as we all witnessed the black man murdered on live. We all witnessed that. Black lives need to matter to everyone. In order to make all lives matter, black lives have to matter.
So if you had a message for police enforcement, what would you say?
I would say find a way. First of all, police need to have real training, and police do not need to be called to every situation. And also, police are too armed. My personal opinion, they have too much artillery and too militarized, so I would say. And what do I feel that they can do to actually bridge the gap, to close the divide between community and police? There's a lot of things that the police can do, and one is to be more involved in community events. Like when police see rallies and protests, instead of coming to be antagonists, instead of coming to antagonize protests, they need to be more involved in the protest. They need to show their solidarity, show that they care, show that they're, because basically with them being more opposition to protest, it shows that they don't care about what we're protesting about. So if they get involved in the protest, get involved in the community organizing, if they reach out to the community and say, what can we do? The community will welcome them and embrace it, and we can have forums and we can come up with solutions together.
If there was something that you could say to Breonna, what would it be?
Before she was murdered?
If she was listening now.
I would say that your life matters to me, and I'm going to stand up for you for the rest of my life to make sure that this does not happen again. And if there was something that I could have done to prevent it from happening to you, I would have done.
And your message to other Black women?
I love you. And I am sorry that this world does not love us the way we deserve to be loved. And I love you, and I will always stand up for you.
All right, repeat after
Thank
me.
you so much
Repeat
for
after me.
sharing that. I appreciate it, and it's an honor to meet you.
Thank you, same here.
One, we are the people. Two, a little bit louder. Three, we want our justice for Breonna. One, we are the people. Two, a little bit louder. Three, we want our justice for Breonna. One, we are the people. Two, a little bit louder. Three, we want our justice for Breonna. One, we are the people. Two, what do we want?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
What do we want?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
What do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
Keep going. What do we want?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? Strong leaders. What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it? What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it? What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
Whose streets are they?
Our street!
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 They do what we want. They're a public service.
Do you know the route so we can help them block
Whose
off?
streets are they? Whose streets are they?
Our street!
You guys are going to turn left?
First Amendment.
You want to ask that guy
Whose
with the
streets are
megaphone,
they?
baby?
Our street!
Whose streets are they?
Our street!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
Say her name.
Breonna Taylor!
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 These are our streets. They listen to you. You are the ones who control the United States, not the politicians, not law enforcement, not the criminal justice system. You are our justice for one. We are the people too. Louder, three. We want our justice for three. All they can do is beat their beats and flash their lights. I didn't sign anything saying I can walk out here. I don't need to. I'm a leader. You're a leader. This is our community. These are our streets. Once you learn that, once you know that, once you pass it on to your neighbors, there's nothing you can't do. You're unstoppable. Say her name. Breonna Taylor. 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 One. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. One. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. One. We are the people too. A little bit louder. We want our justice for Breonna. I want you to take a look. I can call them. This last time a little bit of, I guess we're in trouble. Consider good trouble. I didn't call them. They came out fast though, didn't they? All we did was touch the streets. They were here. They're scared of us. Don't they have more things to do with their life? There must not be any serious trouble happening besides us. You know, I guess that's why they call Lewis. Go ahead and say it. Right. This is a majority white city, right? I'll tell you, Seaside and Salinas do not give us the street. No, they would have arrested. Yeah, they would have been fighting with shooters with rubber bullets. Say her name. Say her name. Say her name. Breonna Taylor. 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 One. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. We're gonna change it up a little bit. Instead of saying for Breonna, now we're gonna say for black people. Let these people know. One, we are the people. Two, a little bit louder. Three, we want our justice for black people. One, we are the people. Two, a little bit louder. Three, we want our justice for black people. One, we are the people. Two, a little bit louder. Three, we are the people for black people. Take a look at this. This is your First Amendment right. These are your streets. These are your streets. You see the law enforcement officers, they do what you say. They do what you say. One, we are the people. Two, a little bit louder. Three, we want our justice for black people. One, we are the people. Two, a little bit louder. Three, we want our justice for black people. One, we are the people. Two, a little bit louder. Three, we want our justice for black people. Say her name. Breonna Taylor. 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 Congratulations, everyone. You just got a PhD on the First Amendment of your Constitution. You can do whatever you want. This is your country. You vote. This is your country. Start stepping up. Start speaking out. This is how you make change. This is how you disrupt the system. They're scared of you. They're scared of us. When a Rainbow Coalition comes together, it scares them. They want to separate us. They want to divide us. The Democratic and Republican system is separating black, brown, white, and transgender, non-binary, all of us. Say her name. Say her name. Black women matter.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Black women matter.
Black lives matter.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace. No peace. No peace.
Black lives matter.
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 No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No
No
justice.
peace.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets. Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets. Our streets. Our streets.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace. Whose streets are they?
Our streets.
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 How you doing, Caucasian community? Look at the Rainbow Coalition that you see before you. Then welcome to the revolution. One, we are the people. A little bit louder. Three, we want our justice for black people. One. I guess we need to decide what's going on. All right, we'll say Breonna from now on because it's all about black women. One, we are the people. Two, a little bit louder. Three, we want our justice for Breonna. One, we are the people. Two, a little bit louder. Three, we are the people for Breonna. Keep it going. One, a little bit louder. We want our justice for Breonna. One, two, three, four, one, two, three, four, Breonna. 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 Say her name. 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 Switch it up. They do what we do. We don't do what they do. Say her name. Say her name. Say her name. Say her name. We're teaching them something today. A law enforcement officer. Thank you. Public service. They've been militarized. They forgot their community is us. They forgot that they do what we say. We don't do what they say. Say her name. Say her name. Say her name. Say her name. Congratulations, community. You got your PhD in the First Amendment. Say her name. Say her name. Say her name. Say her name. One. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. One. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. One. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. One. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. Welcome to the revolution, people. This is the First Amendment right. This is what makes America great. This right here, a Rainbow Coalition of folks fighting the system. This is what makes America great. America was never great, so we're gonna make it great. We're gonna make it great. We're gonna climb that mountaintop. We still got a lot to do. One, we are looks like. Don't forget, it isn't Facebook, it isn't Twitter, it isn't Instagram. It's you getting out there and raising a little hell. It's you getting out there and being unapologetically black, unapologetically tired of the system. I'm tired of the system.
We're not here to disturb the peace. We're here to disturb the chaos. And we're not disturbing the peace. We're disturbing the chaos. We're putting some rest to the unrest. Right?
Are you survivors that they continue to claim are out here? Look at these cops. They must think we're about to burn something down. I see a lot of peaceful protesters going off of the backs of people like Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks. Even Malcolm X, in my opinion, he got killed before he could continue to do this work. Maya Angelou. Harriet Tubman. There's so many powerful black and brown people that have tried to make a difference and have been killed, put in prison, called terrorists. African Americans are 12% of the United States population, and we're 58% of the prison system, according to the U.S. Census. That's the 30 statistics.
I even have some numbers now. Like if we're 13% of the United States population, and over 700,000 black men are incarcerated, why are we a threat? Why are we a threat? Why are our women killed? Why is murder not murder when it's black women? Why does the wall receive more justice than black women? Have you all seen the release of the police man, George Floyd? He was afraid. He was afraid from initial contact, first contact. He was afraid. He was not fighting. He was afraid. And he had every right to be a big man. He felt that. He had the right to say it. He was afraid. He didn't even do anything to threaten the law. Get shot, you ready? Her boyfriend shot her. She shot We're not here to disturb peace. We're here to disturb how can peace exist in a world where murder is okay? Murder is okay. I got caught in violence. So I'm out here to make sure that this does not happen to my girl. Breonna Taylor's mother will never see her grandchildren, never see her daughter married. And that's not okay. But what's even worse is it's not even classified as murder. And the person who murdered her is actually telling the world, don't call me a murderer because the grand jury didn't. That's not okay. That's not okay. We cannot live in a world peacefully and believe that that is okay. It's not okay. We're just out here to touch hearts and minds so that everybody can feel that and know that this is not okay. It's not okay. Breonna Taylor, her life matters. It still matters.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace.
Hey, I want to say this. You know, even to the police that's out here that hear us, we know that there's some police officers that agree with us and know that this is not okay. So we're not against all police. This is not a hate police thing that we have going on here, at least in Monterey County. It's not a hate police, but it's like we want to hear the police that are not okay with this. We want to hear the voices of the police that are not okay with this. We want the police to stand up and say, it's not all right for our fellow officers to get away with murder. Yes. That's what we want to hear. That's why we're out here talking. We're waiting on, and not for a Blue Lives Matter rally. That's not what we're here. That's not what will build the connect between the people and the police. We want to hear the police officers that are not okay with this. We want to hear from the police officers that do everything in their power to de-escalate situations. We want to hear from the police that tell their fellow police officers, hey, that's unnecessary. We want to hear those officers so that we can have a little bit of hope that change will happen. And until we can get a glimpse of hope, we're going to be out here. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
We want to hear from you. We know you all have a heart. We're human beings. We all have light inside. Being a police officer is a job that you took because you had a heart, because you wanted to protect the community. You're not okay with murder on any end. You're not okay with blacks killing blacks. You're not okay with cops killing blacks. There's some of you that are not okay. And we want to hear from you. We want to know that you care. Those that do, we want to know. We want to hear. Because we care about you. Trust me, it's a lot of us that's out here that are telling other rioters not all police are bad. It's a lot of us out here that are saying, give them the benefit of doubt. It's a lot of us that are saying, it doesn't pay to retaliate. It doesn't pay. You can't fight fire with fire. So there's a lot of us that are trying to calm the divide and the hate and the division between the community and the police officers. Because I have police officers in my family and I love them dearly. I would not want any rioter or any protester to ever hurt them. So we don't want to retaliate. We want you all, and it will be more effective for us if you all stood up against this. So we don't want the divide anymore. And I know it's this whole defund the police. It's because there's more funds in the police than in the community. It's not a attack on your livelihood, your way of living. It's not personal. We're just tired. We just want love to be in front of all of this from both ends. You approach us with love, we approach you with love, and then love manifests and continues to create. That's all we want. All right. Lead with love.
I'm kind of stuck. Thank you, Queen Tay. We got to remember, we can't assimilate to a system, we have to integrate. I could have been one of them. I have a bachelor's in criminal justice, psychology, and Spanish. I was a corrections officer for 4 years. Yeah, I was one of you at one point. I was an explorer from 14 until 18, learning from law enforcement, being trained by CIA, DEA, FBI at the Shelby County Sheriff's Office in Alabama. The corrections officer in Missouri, Polk County Sheriff's Office. Current governor of Missouri. Was
one of our former bosses, and I didn't feel the love because I was the only African American in the department. I was the only African American in the Explorer program. They're always saying, well, we're always trying to hire diversity. Well, if you're killing our people, and how are we supposed to feel welcomed in that? So all those jobs that I've been studying for my entire life, I can't jump in because I'm a Black Lives Matter activist. Because I'd rather speak up for my people than assimilate to a system that was never for me. So let's keep walking. Let's keep marching. Let's keep protesting. This isn't a parade. This is a revolution. Say her name. 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 We would do it for you if you got shot the same way. Say her name. 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 No justice. No peace. 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 I'm about to make him a little mad. Apologies. I'm unapologetic. Thank you. No justice. No peace. Down with the racist police. No justice. No peace. Down with the racist police. No justice. No peace. Down with the racist police. No justice. No peace. Down with the racist police. No justice. No peace. Down with the racist police. When we say no justice, no peace, down with the racist police, again, we're not condemning everybody, but maybe you should start hiring people that are qualified for the position. A GED, a high school diploma to carry a gun and carry out your state laws is not enough if you have a lot of college students out there getting a degree in the things that you're supposed to know. No justice. No peace. Down with the racist police. No justice. No peace. Down with the racist police. No justice. No peace. Down with the racist police. No justice. No peace. Down with the racist police. No justice. No peace. Down with the racist police. No justice. No peace. Down with the racist police. No justice. No peace. Down with the racist police. No justice. No peace. Down with the racist police. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We are the people. 1. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We are the justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people. A little bit louder. 3. We are our justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. Congratulations, people. You're getting your PhD in the First Amendment. Congratulations. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. We want our people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna.
Whole street! Our street! 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 Whole street!
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. We had someone sick a bird, but we was fighting for you. And guess what? This is the First Amendment right that you fight for, that you love. This is we love your country. You love your country. We are your people. We are the country. Welcome to the revolution. Go ahead,
We
take it.
still love you, and we will still fight for you. If your life matters to us too. If it was your life, if you were murdered by police, we would stand up for you too. If you were murdered by police, we would stand up for you too. Your life matters. Yes. 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 Life matters.
Breonna's life matters.
Wait. Before we continue, wait. Don't argue with me. All lives matter, but Black lives matter. You're right. All lives matter, but Black lives matter. I want you to look at conversation. I have a life to understand.
We will fight for you too. We would march for you too.
With my words, I will not protest. I will not be violent.
We're not violent.
We're not violent. Are we violent?
We're not violent.
Are we violent people? Are we violent?
Against the
Is this the right?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Yes. We're speaking against the violence.
Post that.
Yes, that's what I want you to see. That's what I want you to see.
Rage is reasonable. Rage is called for right now. People have to stop getting shot. That's all reason. There is no reason for these people to be shot. Rage is the proper response. Rage is the proper response.
Where's the love for Breonna?
Join us. Join us. Join us. Join us. Join us. Black lives matter too. When we say police officers should not kick down a door and kill an innocent EMT, we believe that. And especially if she's not considered a criminal or done anything wrong. You know, law enforcement officers, I used to be one, by the way. So, just how you doing, black guy? African American, used to be a law enforcement officer, right here. You know, embarrassed to say that, but I used to be one.
Air Force.
Don't assimilate. Air Force, right here.
Right here. But look, because that's who hires us. They hire us to go out and kill you, to kill people that look like us. They deployed us into Africa, all over Africa. I think 60, 70 bases in Africa for what? Because they have natural resources that America wants.
Yeah?
Corporate.
I joined the Air Force because it was one of the few jobs that I could get. And now that I'm out, guess what? I'm looking for a job and he's hiring me.
Might need a blue one. All right.
No justice, no peace. Take it to the street, defund the police. No justice, no peace. Take it to the street, defund the police. No justice, no peace. Take it to the street, defund the police. No justice, no peace. You know how much they make? Law enforcement officers in California make $85,000 starting out. Some law enforcement officers in California make $85,000 starting out with a GED or high school diploma. But you know the whole
It's double a teacher.
can't get a law enforcement officer's job because they were either put in juvenile, put in court for the pipeline, or they were not going into the right family. So if we truly want equity, truly want equality, start hiring diverse people in law enforcement. If you truly want to see change, how about educating law enforcement officers to know their community? How about educating them not to use their weapons first, but talk first, communicate. Social workers and law enforcement, psychologists and law enforcement. I work as an African American man. I see a therapist not because I have something wrong, because I have a lot of trauma. Because of being an African American man. And I truly believe in therapy. I truly believe in counseling. I want to be a clinical psychologist. I have my master's in international policy and development. Well, I'm getting it. I'm almost done with my British colleagues who are here as well. It's right across the street, Middle Bay Institute of International Studies. And after that, I want a PhD in clinical psychology. Not enough of my black and brown people have that degree, and we have a lot of trauma, and no one's talking about that. We want to say all lives matter, and no one can see emphasis on that. But when we say Black Lives Matter, we can give you statistics, we can give you data, we can tell you why. We can tell you that we're tired of seeing black and brown people talked about in the news. You know, it gets tired. You know, maybe one day when I have my kids, I can sit back as an older person. I'm 27 years old, and I can be like, you know what? I can be ignorant, maybe for once, and say, racism. No, we dealt with that, and our kids be like, you know what, Dad? You know, we're every single time something bad comes up, people fight. So, you know, systemic racism is still here, but the racism that you dealt with and your forefathers dealt with, he actually did that in the bud. But I don't think we'll ever get to say that because we're not having these conversations. We're not having, our allies are afraid to talk to us. They're afraid to have those uncomfortable conversations. You know, there's these that I want to talk about. The first one is denounce if there's even a problem. The second is they deflect when they hear something bad. Or the third one is they're like, oh, don't put that on me. I don't see color. When you don't see color, you don't see oppression. You don't see systemic racism. When you don't see color, you don't see other cultures, ethnicities. When you don't see color, you're saying, I'm not racist. I don't know that word. Why can't we all just get along? Yeah, I would love that too. How about we start fighting for the nation that matters? You know, this is your First Amendment right here. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, that's fine. We can connect with random people. But this is what makes a difference. It's not in the car.
This is what democracy looks like.
Yes. That's right. This is what democracy looks like. The officers do what you say. They don't do it. They do what you say.
Serve and protect.
And I will die for every single one of them. Black, brown, blue, rainbow, blue, it doesn't matter what you call yourself. I'll die for every single one of them because I was taught. I was taught to die for my American brothers and sisters. And when you start to realize that we are on the same team, then we won't have these things in the mockery of our country. We won't have the debate that's one between. We will have homegrown leaders that know what they're talking about, that are educated. Let's keep walking, people. No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No
motorcycle needs to charge.
This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Our street. Our street. Our street. Our street. Our street. Our street. Our street.
Who do they protect? Who do they serve? Who do they protect? Who do they serve?
Who do they protect? Who do they serve? Who do they protect? Who do they serve? Who do they protect? Who do they serve? Who do they protect? Who do they serve? Who do they protect? Who do they serve? Who do they protect? Who do they serve? Who do they protect? Who do they serve? Who do they serve? Our allies, and a lot of people love to talk about Martin Luther King. But Martin Luther King does exactly what we're doing today in a new generation. They marched, they protested, they raised a little hell, but it was necessary for the greater good. We may be tired, but our souls are weary. We need to continue marching because people need to see this. People need to see this. We may be talked about today, but in the history books, looking back, we won't be looked at as rural revolutionaries. One, we are the people. A little bit louder. Three. Four, black people. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. Four, Breonna. One. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. One. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. because they already here. Black lives matter. 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 We're dipping in our tax dollars today, making them work. Black lives matter. 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 See, I'm unapologetic. See, I'm unapologetic. 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 Whose streets are they? Our streets. Whose streets are they? Our streets. Whose streets? 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 Our streets. One. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. One. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. One. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. One. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. One. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. One. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. One. We are the people. Two. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. One. We are the people. Two. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. One. We are the people. A little bit louder. We want our justice for Breonna. One. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. One. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. We are the people. A little bit louder. We want our justice for Breonna. One. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. One. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. One. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. One. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. One. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. Whose streets? Our streets. 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 No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. One. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. One. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our justice for Breonna. One. We are the people. Two. A little bit louder. Three. We want our
justice for Breonna. 1, we are the people. 2, a little bit louder. 3, we want our justice for Breonna. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. Black lives matter. 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 No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. Black lives matter. 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 Black women 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 matter. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace.
Are you tired? For real, are you tired? Are you good? You want to keep going a little bit more to come back? Can you go a little bit more? Yeah. Are you sure? Yeah. All right. All right, let's go. Let's go. Anybody tired? Black lives matter. 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 Our streets. Our streets. Our streets. Our streets. Our streets. Our streets. Thank you. These are your streets. These are your streets. This is your country. Fight for it. Black lives matter. 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 We're gonna take a right. No justice. No peace. We get some exercise today. Woo. Hey, we needed it. It's been COVID-19. We've been sitting on our butts a lot. It's good exercise. It's good trouble. It's good trouble. What would you rather be doing on a Saturday than protesting? No justice! No peace! No justice! No justice! No justice! No peace! 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 No
justice. No justice. No justice. No justice. No justice. No justice. No justice. No justice. No justice. No justice. Y'all stop right here. Get your circles free.
Everybody, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're letting them hear our voice here, right? They know that we're not going to sit by and just be okay. This is not okay. This is not okay. This is not okay. We are not okay. We want to hear their voice. I want to know from police officers how do they feel about this? Are they okay with their comrades getting away with murder? Are they okay with this? Are they okay with this? I challenge police to stand up and say that they're not okay with this. At a Blue Lives rally, speak up about the injustices that their fellow comrades are serving on the people that they're put in position to serve and protect. Are they okay with it?
Anybody want to say anything? Anybody? Have anything to say that's just on their heart? Go ahead and say it. Because
Why is this not okay for you?
It's not up to black people to do this. It's not up to black women and black men to lead this. They have done this their whole lives and for generations. And it's us, people, white people with privilege, to be here and to stand up for you. It's not your job to bring us up. It's not, you can't bring us down. Like, I'm glad that this is a rainbow coalition, like you called, and it is our job, people with light colored skin, to stand up for black people and black women. I'm glad we're here.
And I'm going to tell you something. I work with a lot of politicians and get to know them, and I know that a lot of people go into politics so that they can help and serve and advocate for people in the community. So I'm assuming that people take positions as police officers to serve and protect and help and, you know, to contribute to the community. So for those officers who became police officers with the intention to serve, protect, and love, where are they speaking up? Where are just like they have the Blue Lives Matter rally, they could have something stating that, just telling us that they're not okay with it. And then we won't look at them all as a collective. You know what I'm saying? We can say that, we can actually say, like how some people say, not all cops are bad cops. But where are the good cops? Why aren't the good cops speaking up, saying, we don't agree with the actions of the bad cops? That would actually give us a sense of hope that there are some good ones. They'll become visible. It won't just be in our imagination. We won't have to assume that there are some. We will be able to say, okay, yes, I know, that's a good cop. That cop stood up and said that they agree with us. That cop stood up and said that that's not right. It is not okay to murder anyone and get away with it. Then we will have something to say. Like, we will be able to, we will have some concrete evidence that not all cops are murderers. But if you stand behind your murdering comrade, you're just as guilty. You're just as guilty. You're justifying murder, which will lead us to believe that you're capable of committing it sometime in the near future. If it's okay with you, right? We want to hear from the police that are not okay with it. Because if we don't hear anything from the police, we're left to assume that they're all okay with this. And if they are all okay with this, then what is the point of the police? They should be abolished. If they are all okay with this, then there's no need for them. Now, if those of them that feel that they have a purpose in what they're doing, stand up, speak up, show us the need for you even being existing. What is your need? Because this is all we see. Show us something different. Sure. I'm a spiritual life coach. So I'm super healthy, but just.
Hello, everyone. I want to first acknowledge that we are standing in indigenous land, and so we need to accept that first and foremost. And I was just taking a bike ride this morning, and then I noticed all the commotion that was going on, and all the beauty that was going on, all the community that was going on, and I couldn't just stand there. I had to join. And I encourage everybody else to join as well. My name is Ulises. I use he, him, his pronouns. I am proud to be Latinx. I'm proud to be Mexican. I'm proud to be queer. And as for other people from marginalized communities, it's super important to acknowledge where we are and super important to embrace the solidarity that we have. Embrace it. And I want to leave you all with a chant that we do for Latinx, or every time I go to, like a Cesar Chavez march or something. It goes like the following. It's El pueblo unido jamás será vencido, which roughly translates to the community united will never be defeated. And I want to share that with you all because it's true. Can we all say it together? Yeah. All right.
Say it one more time.
Yeah. El pueblo unido, el pueblo unido jamás será vencido. All right. Perfect. So, el pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Thank you so much.
Unido jamás será vencido.
Vencido. Did I say it? Did I get it? Yeah. So true. So Cynthia was talking about police standing up for us. So that means they go back to their department and they weed out all the white supremacists. They go into the courthouses and they weed out all the white supremacist judges. They go and they weed out all the white supremacists in the Congress, in the Senate, and in the White House. Yeah. That's what standing up for me sounds like and looks like. You get rid of the white supremacists so I can live, so my kids can live, so Nathaniel can live, so Queen Kay can live, so My Loving Miracle can live, so we can live without the fear of being pulled over for a tag that isn't registered. So we don't have to worry about being pulled over because our blinkers don't work or allegedly don't work. Right? I don't know how many videos you guys all need to see where black people are being pulled out of their cars for crazy nonsense, for petty stuff. Or how many times someone has called the police on a black person for petty stuff and they're hemmed up by the police or dead on the ground for hours for no reason. That is because of white supremacy. Yeah? Our economy is based on white supremacy. I talked earlier about how our military bases are in Africa right now, and the Middle East, and all over this planet. For what reason? We don't have one foreign military base in the United States. Why? They're a threat to us, just like we're a threat to them. Yeah? And these police here, today, when they go back, they need to talk about the white supremacists in their department. And they need to demand any time excessive use of force or their guns are discharged, the entire department gets drug tested. All of this are drug tested. I think we've seen enough of this. Go ballistic, go 0 to 100 for no reason escalating because somebody doesn't want to roll their window all the way down. And then they break the window and drag them out and beat them up and tase them. Yeah? I think it's time for all of this to stop. And we demand justice. And it looks like voting on white supremacists out of office. It looks like us making sure that they're not running around with tattoos. You know, the infiltrate white
actually deemed that person. They didn't know what they were talking about. It's fine. They didn't know. It was an accident. Even though they were covered in these symbols, they knew what it meant. They said they didn't know, so they could stay, and they wouldn't be staying in that department as of last week.
So what's happening there? Where else is it happening?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You want to speak? Oh no, just the 3%ers. They're the ones, they provided security for the KKK and the Nazis in Charlottesville.
I challenge any officer out here today to speak.
Silence. That's what we're going to get. Because this is not just about a few bad officers. This is about a racist system. Look at the foundations of where these came from. Look at what they're trying to accomplish. They're not trying to protect and serve the citizens. They're trying to eliminate the threat to the system. That's what their purpose is, to eliminate the threat to the system. Yep. It's not simply a few racist police. We have to dismantle the repressive system that is racist in its foundation. It's going to take a lot of unity. It's going to take a lot of forgiveness. You're going to have to work with people you disagree with, but it's going to be all of us together. together. That's what we need. Heal people, heal people. Hurt people, hurt people.
Guys, I feel like we gotta cause a little bit more good trouble. I've been working on the sprained ankle for a while. I think I need to get it checked out eventually. I fell through my sport. I went to the country back in Alabama. One of my uncles died from cancer. And it's a little better, but I'm still weak in the knees. But I'm marching, justice for Breonna. And so when I heard about the grand jury's decision, I put on Facebook, I was like, I gotta march, I gotta do something. And then Laurie, who's not here anymore, the Trans Lives Matter activist, she said, Nate, I'll make you a flyer. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna put it out there and I'll march by myself if I have to. But I'm marching today, or I mean on Saturday. And I wanted, but then Nick hit me up, and Nick's like, state agents of change and all these other coalitions will be a part of it. This is short notice, but I want to make sure you're okay. But we also remember, Nate, this is about the black women. This is about African American women. And so next week at the same time, of course, more people will be coming. The senator says he's coming. Senator Bill Mourning will show up. But I don't want to hear him talk. I want to hear him march. I want to see him march. So I don't care if he comes and shows up. He's going to march with us, or he won't speak. He can speak after we walk about it. But I'm tired of politicians showing up when it's re-election time. So let's go on to the next one. Or we'll go until we get tired. We don't go Say her name! Breonna Taylor! 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 No justice! No peace! Down with the racist police! No justice! No peace! Down with the racist police! No justice! No peace! Down with the racist police! We're here for good trouble. Like John Lewis left for us. No justice. No peace. Down with the racist police. No justice. No peace. Down with the racist police. No justice. No peace. Down with the racist police. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. Your phones in your pockets are your weapons. They're your tools. You see how everyone, when they see us, they pull out their phone because somebody is watching you right now on social media, on some sort of platform. And that's what we have to do because not everybody does this. But for some reason, everybody gets ignited when they see it. That's something. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. For Breonna. 1. 2. 3. For Breonna. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1.
people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. Let's slow down a little bit for everybody else. Let's slow down a little bit. No justice. No peace. 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 This is what goes down in history. The people that are silent aren't remembered, but the people that do something are. Tomorrow, they'll either say Black Lives Matter activists caused chaos, riot, rugby. You know what we did. Or they'll have somebody say Black Lives Matter activists did X, Y, and Z. They always push the narrative. They always try to make it like we're doing something terrible. Right now, we're just using our freedom of speech that a lot of people don't use. We think we do on social media, but it's really this. This is what freedom of speech is. It's tiring. It's annoying. We have a lot of other things to do. I'm a graduate student. I understand. I'm a husband. But this is necessary because this is what I'd rather be doing on my Saturday. And then after I get through this, I'll go home and do all the things I have to do. But right now, I'm gonna cause a little good trouble. Once we get over there, after that, then we're gonna turn back around, come back to the promised land. And we're gonna do it again. Probably you're gonna find somewhere like tomorrow where they have protest against ICE, which I'm sure all of you have seen on your social media platforms, because you all kind of know me now. If you don't, add me to Facebook, add Nick to Facebook, get to know Nick so he can plug you in with the rest of the organizations out there. Let's cause a little good trouble, folks. Let's keep going. 1. We are the people. 2.
A little bit louder.
3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder.
Hey guys, I just got some great news from one of our officers with us. Officer Soriano just let me know that life is precious and it's never okay. So that's what we need to hear. That's simple.
Can he say it?
He can't say it.
That would be representing the city.
We can understand that, right? We can kind of understand that, right?
Well,
but to hear that, it does do something, right? Right? We want to hear that. We want to hear that. So that took a lot, and I appreciate him. He did not have to share that with me, so I'm grateful for that. But we need to hear that. We need to hear that.
Thank you, Queen Tay. The reason I said that, if they would have said that, I would have turned right back around. Don't need to be with. Because it went to your ears. That's beautiful, and we're glad you told us.
Yes.
But if they just open up their mouth, there's something powerful. I feel like, you know what, guys?
It would be great, very powerful if we could hear that, like on a bigger platform, and if we could know that that was the collective view, that would help us. It would help us to heal.
One, we are the people. 2, a little bit louder. 3, we want our justice for Breonna. 1, we are the people. 2, a little bit louder. 3, we want our justice for Breonna. 1, we are the people. 2, a little bit louder. 3, we want our justice for Breonna. 1, we are the people. 2, a little bit louder. 3, we want our justice for Breonna. 1, we are the people. 2, a little bit louder. 3, we want our justice for Breonna. 1, we are the people. 2, a little bit louder. 3, we want our justice for Breonna. 1, we are the people. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice. 4. Breonna. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice. 4. Breonna.
Look how many people it is that just stop this, like have literally slowed down and thing and just stop things just like this. Just imagine if there were thousands or millions of them. You know how powerful we can change the system. You know how fast our county politicians all across the board to say, guys, we need to hurry up and do something. They're not going to vote for X, Y, and Z. We don't think that. Like, we literally have power. No, you see, I didn't talk to them before this. Like, they just showed up earlier this morning and said, are y'all going in the streets? And I was like, that's it.
1. We are the people. 2.
A little bit louder.
3.
We want our justice.
4. Black.
I keep saying black. Breonna, it is Breonna. I'm just always thinking about my own folks. Like everybody. Right.
1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3.
We want our justice.
4. Breonna. 1.
We are the people.
2.
A little bit louder.
3.
We want our justice.
4. Breonna. 1.
We are the people.
2.
A little bit louder.
3.
We want our justice.
4. Breonna. 1. We want 2. 3. 4. Breonna. West, this is for Dread. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1.
We are the people.
2.
A little bit louder.
3.
We want our justice.
4. Breonna. 1.
We are the people.
2.
A little bit louder.
3.
We want our justice.
4. Breonna. 1.
We are the people.
2.
A little bit louder.
3.
We want our justice.
4. Breonna. 1.
We are the people.
2.
A little bit louder.
3.
We want our justice.
4. Breonna. Black Lives Matter.
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 Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Let's go. Black Lives Matter.
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 There's talking and there's walking. You can have all the organizations you want, but there's talking and walking at the same time. Black Lives Matter.
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 Black looks like. Welcome to your country. Whose streets are they?
Our streets.
Whose streets are they?
Our streets.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
No justice. No justice.
No peace.
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 It doesn't take a lot. All it takes is a few to change the system. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Welcome to Nathaniel Sawyer's master's class. No justice.
No peace.
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 One.
We are the people.
Two.
A little bit louder.
Three. We want our justice for Breonna. One.
We are the people.
Two. A little bit louder. Three.
We want our justice for Breonna.
One.
We are the people.
Two.
A little bit louder.
Three.
We want our justice
For Breonna. One.
We are the people.
Two.
A little bit louder.
Three.
We want our justice
For Breonna.
Show them what
This is what democracy looks like. 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 Welcome to your First Amendment class.
This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like. Show them what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show them what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show them what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show them what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show them what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
She's still got her
What
face.
democracy looks like.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Take a look to your right. All those are people whose lives, who didn't get to see this, who didn't get to see equity, who didn't get to see equality, who didn't get to see our freedoms shown through the streets. We are not just doing this for our future generation, but we're doing this for the people that didn't get to do this because they were killed. They were created as martyrs. They were put in prison. Whose streets are they?
Our streets.
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 Welcome to the Rainbow Coalition. No justice.
No peace.
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 Down with the racist police. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No Can we try the Pueblo one? El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Black Lives Matter.
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 Black trans 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 lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
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 You see that? You see those folks up there? They decided.
Are they blind? Or is this really what they call trying? If they're trying, they are not applying because we are all dying. I see the signs. So I'm going to try to make this world divine. Until then, I'll be ready when it's my time. This society is trying to make our leaders a lost cause. Those who vote laws with the intention to vote laws, many sacrifice their own lives for us all. Let's not run around like Dr. King did touch y'all. We have everything our parents want and so much more to give. Let's not die trying to look stupid. Instead of using, some abuse it to be literate to music or however they choose it. Don't break the food sticks and expect to win. Come again because we were born in sin. And the Emancipation Proclamation supposedly being enslaved. But it's slaves in the house of hate. Don't let nobody spit on your back and say it's right. Pay attention to the storms to enhance your brain. Do you remember Emmett Till?
The protest in front of you is a happiness rally. It is not a protest or not a counter-protest. It is a happiness rally on your right. They are promoting peace and happiness.
Aww. Party on, dudes. Right on, right on.
We are the people too. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. We are the people too. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people too. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people too. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want our justice for Breonna.
I know it's almost y'all's time to get off. We're heading back. I can see you getting tired over there. Being a nice civil servant.
I just pray that everybody heard our voices today have found a place in their heart to
Black women matter.
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 Thank you, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep coming out. Keep showing up. Keep standing up. Keep speaking up. This is what democracy looks like.
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 No justice.
No peace.
Down with the racist police. No justice.
No peace.
Down with the racist police. No justice.
No peace.
Down with the racist police. No justice.
No peace.
Down with the racist police. No peace. Down with the racist police. Black women matter.
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 How about y'all hire some African Americans or something in y'all's police department? Black women matter.
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 No justice, no peace.
No justice.
Down with the racist police. No justice, no peace. Down with the racist police. No justice,
No peace.
down with the racist police. No justice,
No peace.
down with the racist police. This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Everyone, be careful. We have Trump, white supremacy supporters up there. We do not engage with them. If we do get in front of them, we show them peace when they show us nasty. Put it on social media. Show the sign. People will not see unless they go for themselves. But do not show them anything that will make them make us look bad. You understand what I'm saying with that? This is what democracy looks like.
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 Black lives matter.
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 Black women matter.
Black women matter.
Black women matter. Black women matter. Black women matter.
Black women matter.
Black women matter.
Black women matter.
Black women matter.
Black women matter.
Black women matter.
Black women matter.
Black women matter.
Black women matter.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
One, we are the people. Two, a little bit louder. Three, we want our justice for Breonna. One, we are the people. Two, a little bit louder. Three, we want our justice for Breonna. One, we are the people. Two, a little bit louder. Three, we want our justice for Breonna. One, we are the people. Two, a little bit louder. Three, we want our justice for Breonna. One, we are the people. Two, a little bit louder. Three, we want our justice for Breonna.
Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. I am not afraid. Me, an African American, is not afraid. Black Lives Matter. 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 Dude. Black Lives Matter. 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 Everybody, I want you to take a look. You don't get a lot of chances to see white supremacy. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter, David. I'm looking for my wife as well. You don't get a chance. Black Lives Matter. 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 Hey, Wes, can you get on my? I'm gonna get on my Facebook Live. I want to have a conversation with a Trump supporter.
Okay, I think we should replace those signs.
Huh?
I think we should replace the signs.
You got any signs? Oh, yeah. Replace it?
Yeah, we should replace
Hey
it.
guys, let's replace these signs that the Trump supporters took down.
No, we took them down.
Take them down.
Well, so if we don't expect violence toward us, we should not do violence toward them.
You're right. You know it's hard.
Hold our ground, hold our position. I told you we gotta take it. When they go low, we gotta go high. That's how we win.
Black Lives Matter. 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 See that over there? That's white supremacy. That's white supremacy. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. I just hate white supremacy. Why can't they be on our side? Why can't you just join forces? Why do you have to always divide?
Right?
Why are they supporting someone that doesn't even have a high IQ?
Yeah.
That doesn't even know, that has never worked hard in his entire life.
Right? And if all lives matter, where's Breonna's life in their system?
Black Lives Matter! 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 No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! One! We are the people too! Louder, louder, free! We are the justice for Breonna! One! We are the people too! Louder, louder, free! We want our justice for Breonna! One! We are the people too! Louder, louder, free! We want our justice for Breonna! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! How do you hear us? Black Lives Matter! 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 Black Lives Matter!
How do you feel about Breonna Taylor's death?
Oh, you're Christian?
We're Christians. We can't hate anybody.
I'm a
We're all
Christian.
God's children.
No,
We're
we're all
created by
God's
God.
children. You're supposed to be.
Created by God. Weren't we all created by the same God?
President's putting God's children in cages.
Well, should we?
That's the children in cages.
We're all
You think Jesus would want that?
children. He wants the
How do you feel about Breonna Taylor's death? And
Jesus will be fighting for that.
No, I'm not going. Have you read
Yes.
Have you read it all?
Yes.
Have you read it all?
I've done mission trips. I've been a
Do you know who
pastor. I was working in law
Okay,
enforcement.
but do you know that the 3 executives of BLM, they came out and said that they're witches?
Bunch of Nazis right there.
They're witches.
They support Richard Spencer and the alt-right right there. The alt-right. No, Richard Spencer. You guys support Richard Spencer and the alt-right. They support the alt-right. That's the new word for Nazi. Alt-right. You guys are ignorant. Come on, man. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter!
Black Lives Matter.
One, we are the people. 2, a little bit louder. 3, we want our justice for Breonna. 1, we are the people. 2, a little bit louder. 3, we want our justice for Breonna. Black lives matter. 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 Black lives matter.
I want you to see the rainbow coalition that we got with just a few people and all white supremacy that's on to your right. That's that's hate. We are together. Black, white, Filipino, Latinx, Asian. This is what democracy looks like.
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 Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is 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 what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Black lives matter.
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 Vote him out. 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 Vote Trump 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 out. The only way to stop, we'll continue to say Breonna lives matter, more lives matter. If we don't vote people like him out, vote Trump out. 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 Black lives matter. 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 No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. No Trump, no KKK, no fascist
fascist USA. No Trump, no KKK, no 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 fascist USA. No Trump, they KKK, no fascist USA. They can't handle that. They can't handle it. They sit down, turn around, attack it up. No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. Join us with the hump. 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 No KKK, no fascist USA. No Trump, 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 no KKK, no fascist USA. Look to us. We have all white, Asian, Filipino, Latinx, African American, all white supremacists over there. We told them Black Lives Matter, and they said no, all lives matter because we're Christians. What does that mean if you can't say Black Lives Matter? I'm a Christian too, and I can fight for everybody. I can say Black Lives Matter when all lives matter. I can fight for the kids. Park your car and come out here with us. I love you guys. Park your car and come on out here.
Black Lives Matter!
Come on, come on.
Out of your cars and into the streets.
Out of your cars and into the street. 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 Out of your cars 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 into the street. I want to thank all of you for our marches, protests, and rallying. It's been beautiful today. We made history. We will continue to make history. This is a revolution, and we will not stop. Not until somebody like Trump is out. Not until systemic racism is erased and out of our country, and we can show an actual salad bowl of a country instead of a melting pot. We are not assimilated. We are integrated. I have to go back to the real world now, jobs, all that stuff. I have a lot of work to do, but I wanted to tell you guys today. And continue to fight Black Lives Matter. Please give me your numbers. Please give Nick your numbers, because I really believe, like, when we do our next day, next Saturday, 10 a.m., more people will have dancers from the Latinx community, Native American community. We'll have a lot more organizations. Asians Change will be there. Nick, you want to say a few words?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, come out next Saturday, keep coming out. Tomorrow we're going to have a long night rally, 777 Pearl Street, right in front of the Monterey Youth Center in front of Dennis and Menace Park. We're meeting at 12 o'clock noon. This is abolish ICE. So Don Lynn, black woman who was a whistleblower who brought light to the mass hysterectomies and forced sterilizations in the ICE camp. So we owe everything to black women. We owe everything to black women. Say her name.
Breonna Taylor.
Say her name.
Breonna Taylor.
My number is, I'm Nathaniel Sawyer. If you haven't met me before or know me on social media or whatnot, my number is 8. If you ever need any
everything. Me and my wife have a nonprofit called Black Wall Street. If you're ever in trouble, call me. I'll be there. I'll fight for you. I'm tired of sitting on the sidelines. My number is 831-402-6776. Text me your name, and I'll tell you when things like when Nick and everybody else is bringing up, we need to be united. We need to work together. We're a community. We don't just come out. We have to know each other. We're neighbors. We're family. Again, my number is 831-402-6776. Nate Sawyer. Thank you all. Black Lives Matter. Women's lives matter. Breonna Taylor matters. Trans lives matter. Black trans lives matter. Fight for our queens.
Black children matter.
Black
If
children
you
matter.
vote in Marina, vote for Audra Walton. Yeah.
Vote for Audra Walton.
USD Area 1, Marina, Audra Walton. If you're in Salinas, vote West White for mayor. We're not just out here protesting, like Nate says. Him and his wife have started an organization. Audra's running to get in there to make a difference for our children. West White is running to get in there. Oh yes, of course. No, I'm getting that. Tanisha Dunn in Seaside. Vanessa Robinson, Salinas, Miriam Smith here in Seaside. Vote black women and West White.
Hey, at least I'm your mate.
Yeah. When my kids get a little older, because I'm not through. Support black businesses too. I am a businesswoman.
Dude, that is huge.
If they truly cared about Trump as much as they did, they're just trying to show.
Yeah.
This is nice. I'm with it.
Right on, man. Thank you.
Thank you.